What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim Mathanis, aka vypermajik, and once again, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Miss Rachael. Hello, Miss Rachael.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing all right. We are here to talk to you about Bethesda's first ever E3 press conference, which happened last night. We were going to do the video last night, but it was a long day, so here we are, bright and early on Monday morning, talking about Bethesda. So, before we even get into the nuances of Bethesda, I think we can all agree that Doom was a great game in its day.
Doom was amazing. I can remember getting the 100-pack of games on a CD, and that was one of the couple of games that I played.
Was the cover blue? Did it say like 100 greatest games? Because I think I had
it was something like that. It had Doom, it had Wolfenstein 3D, it had Commander Keen, it had Duke Nukem, all the classics that I played as a kid.
Wolfenstein?
Yeah, it had Wolfenstein on it. I can't actually remember the title of it, but I remember there were certain games that I wanted to play, and those were them.
Gotcha. I'm doing some housekeeping in the background because it says my hard drive wasn't full. It was full.
Perhaps we should start over then.
No. We let it roll. You let it roll. We don't stop. Okay, so the first thing that they started the press conference off with was, obviously, Doom.
Yes.
That makes the most sense. So, what I took away from the game, and there are videos online everywhere for people watching at home wondering, how great it was. Doom was one of those games, it looks so fast, like playing in 2x speed of any other game.
Yeah, Doom looked really, really fast when they were showing the demos, and then when they switched weapons, it slowed down to almost a stop.
Correct, and I think that was an effect done obviously on purpose. I think that was your only breather in combat, because the things I took away was, you're still gonna have health packs and ammo packs and that sort of thing, but instead of the traditional Bethesda style, which I'll talk about a little bit later, we actually have to pick each piece up. You just ran over them.
Yeah, very much like other games where you collect items as opposed to actually picking one up, like we're seeing in Wolfenstein while we're playing through that now.
Right. So, it seemed like you would attack an enemy, and the way to get health back was to perform a melee finisher on him, and then he would explode into health and ammo packs.
Yep.
And throughout the demo that they were showing off, constantly the hero or the player or whatever was always low health. Always on the brink of death, then he'd full health again.
I have to say, the one thing that I wish that they would have done a little more of was demonstrate what types of guns, because that was always my favorite part of Doom, was checking out the new guns, and I didn't really get to see that, so I was a little disappointed by the demo, because I would have liked to see them switch between every single gun that you could see. They
definitely put a lot of emphasis on the shotgun and the super shotgun, but that was always the Doom weapon, was the shotgun, the double barrel. That was the weapon in the game.
Yeah, but I liked all the new guns that you got, checking them all out, seeing what they did. Now, in my day, usually what I did was I preserved all of that special ammo, never used it because, you never knew what you might run into. You might need it later.
The infamous purple rejuvenation potion on Diablo that you refuse to take even as you die.
Hey, they were full rejuves.
Hey, those are worth gold.
That required 3 little purple potions.
And a Roger cube, yeah.
And how often did you get those? Not very.
That's true.
So,
I noticed in Doom, obviously, one of the cool things that they focused in on was these finishers that they had.
Yes.
And I watched by then I think you'd already long passed out, but I stayed up and watched Adam and Morgan Webb talk about Doom with the developer, and he said that those were going to be completely unscripted, that was just spur of the moment, and when an enemy reached a low health point, if you ran up to them, automatically, while looking at a certain limb, they would automatically dissolve.
So low health point, is that 10%, 20%,
he didn't
30%?
say. He didn't say.
Well,
no, but I think that the game, you could tell by the demo, is color-coded. Yeah. We don't need every detail now. I think we could all agree that there's going to be an indication. It's not like you're going to run up to an enemy and I'm trying to rip your arm off, and he's just punching you in the head because he's not low on health. They're not going to do that. That's just silly. That's poor design.
So I will say that this game was extremely gory.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking Mortal Kombat X level gory.
It was great.
It was definitely what Doom is famous for.
Yes.
So I was excited to see it. I personally am not a huge first-person shooter fan. However, from a nostalgia point, I probably will actually pick this game up and check it out.
So besides the amazing graphics, which I think we all agree was on PC, I debated whether or not that was gameplay or a trailer, but it had to be gameplay, just because there's so many things that, a lot of times in these games the CGI is so good looking that you just think, oh, this has just got to be pre-rendered. But the way that there's a couple moments where the guy switched guns, I made a joke about it with her, where he had a super shotgun, then he slowed down time, they picked a super shotgun again. Like, to me, it was a player, so I'm excited for that kind of gameplay. I think it's going to be super fast. I noticed there was a jetpack in there for small bursting, kind of reminiscent of Destiny, where it's not like you can fly around infinitely.
I just, the one criticism that I have of these E3 press conferences, I wish people would play it live. I don't like the scripted playthroughs. It makes me feel like you're hiding something.
So you want a guy on stage holding the controller, looking at him, pressing buttons, interacting with the screen.
Yes, I want to see that. That makes me think, hey, this game is really ready for prime time. It's ready to go. And you see the true measure of what the game is. With these scripted events, they have an opportunity to polish them, make them look better. And you've seen, some of the games don't look like what they're showing in these press events. So
the notorious vertical slice?
Something along those lines, yes.
Watch Dogs, Witcher.
I personally appreciate it when they pull someone up, they're playing it live. Not to say that's the only thing that I want to see. I do want to see some of the scripted, but I want to see a live version.
Okay. I understand that. What other notes do I have here? So the single player looks amazing to me. Super high action, lots of gore. The chainsaw returns, lots of really cool, ripping a guy's leg off and smashing his chest, chainsawing a dude in half, just blood and guts everywhere. I loved it.
Ripping a guy's arm off to open a door because he needed his hand. That was cool.
Scanner.
Yep, that was really cool.
That was cool.
Didn't see a whole lot about multiplayer.
Well, they did talk a little bit about multiplayer briefly, and keep in mind this game isn't launching till spring of 16, so there's still plenty of time to iron that out. I want the core engine working. We can do that kind of stuff later. However, they did show a very brief snippet of multiplayer. It said they're going to have traditional modes, capture the flag, tag, that sort of thing, team deathmatch.
Tag, that kind of stuff. Yep.
One really cool thing that I saw, and they very quickly showed it in the trailer, was there was a power-up where you could actually turn into a demon. And the guy, at the end of the first time they showed the trailer at the end, the hero dies. The demon rips his arms off and he's smacking the hero in the face with them. Okay. That demon is the demon you transform into. So in the multiplayer, there's a power-up. You get it. You were flying around. You had like bat hands. You were super fast, super strong. I hope to see more of that. That wasn't just your traditional power-up like quad damage or infinite rockets or something like that. That was like a game changer, and to me, I want more of that. I want to play with that guy.
Now, they did show the creator,
yes,
where you can create your own levels.
Doom Snap Map, that's what I was getting ready to talk about, yes.
And it looks cool. Looks like a lot of work.
Yes.
Kind of Minecraft-esque, if you will.
Yes.
Create your own, make everything. Didn't look like you had to be very proficient in it, that anybody could do it. Now, that's not really my cup of tea. That really, to me, takes a lot of time away from where I could be playing. Not a big fan of designing levels. However, I do enjoy playing levels that other people have designed.
Right.
Provided that they're designed well. Now, my levels, would be something along the lines of, an impassable tunnel where you get cornered and, stuff like that because, I kind of like to grief people. Here's my map where I grief you.
My griefing map. So I really saw this multiplayer or this map creator thing really blow up with Halo 3 with the Forge. Halo 3 had a Forge, and people were making goofy things like warthog races. I mean, actual courses. People had laid out explosives where all you had to do was drive forward, and the car would explode and land in certain ways. And I'm very excited for this. They said it could be... You could do a single-player, cooperative missions, survival, basically whatever you wanted to do. They're basically giving you a GUI of all the development tools. Yep. They had things in there. They were showing off some of the logic that they had, where if you pick up this armor, this enemy will spawn. When you kill this enemy, this will happen. So I think you could get some really creative mods out of this, and I'm very excited they're bringing these tool sets out. Obviously, modding has been a core of the PC gaming community forever. to see that they're embracing this and bringing this to the forefront. It's coming with the game. I think you're going to get a lot. I think this game's have a lot of legs after you beat the single-player campaign and you've had your full multiplayer. I think you're going to find a lot of people doing really goofy things, and they're going to have fun just griefing people, like you said.
So that being said, we are extremely excited for Doom to come out in spring of 2016.
We are. Next page.
Next, they talked about Bethesda.net.
Yes, I wanted to talk about this.
So,
go ahead.
Bethesda.net, just what we need. Another place where I have to go to play my games on my PC.
They snuck this in very quickly, and not a lot of people picked up on it, but we did. We did. Okay? I heard Bethesda.net, and all I could think of was Origin, Steam, Uplay. Another client that's going to get in between me and my game. I hope I misunderstood them. But it did. It sounded to me like it was going to be the all-encompassing hub to the internet.
Yeah, not
to their games, and he said going forward, all games will have Bethesda.net hooks.
Yeah, not real excited about that. You know, give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see where it goes, what it looks like, but you know, previous versions of this by other developers have not done well, and I'm not excited.
And you see, like. Steam has done it well. Steam is obviously the king of this. Everybody uses Steam for PC gaming.
But that's what Steam does. Steam isn't involved in consoles. They aren't involved in anything else. But
no layers between me and the game.
Right.
No. Assassin's Creed Unity or Assassin's Creed Black Flag on PlayStation 4 had the Uplay hook. Ugh. I had to connect to the Uplay server before I played the game. Then I got regular achievements. I got Uplay achievements. I had Uplay currency, and it was like. Yeah. Get out of my way. I already spent $60. Buzz off. So I'm nervous. This is going to tank Bethesda. Not tank Bethesda, but I'm not happy about this.
This is not a good idea.
No.
Your fans don't want this.
Don't
Stop.
do it. Don't do it. Stop.
Think about all the issues that Battlefield 4 had with Origin.
Oh
really?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, you had a friends list on Battlefield 4, which was different than your Origins friends list. Origin wouldn't hook up to your battle log. You couldn't get on. Oh my god, I know. Don't get me started.
So we're going to do this again? Really, guys? Come on. Please.
We'll
please,
find out.
Please, stop.
Okay. I think we've pleaded.
Okay.
Enough.
Now, the next thing that came out was Battlecry. Battlecry looked extremely stylized, very much like Team Fortress.
It looked exactly like Team Fortress 2, but Melee. That's exactly what it looked like.
It did.
The same goofy classes, the Gadgeteer, the Samurai, the guy with all of it. It's Team Fortress with bats and sticks.
Yes, it is. And now that being said, I still registered to get into the beta.
Yes, if you guys haven't already, go check out battlecrythegame.com and register for the alpha, which is going to launch later this year, I believe.
Yes. So, obviously, still going to check it out, but I'm not super excited. They
did say it would be. Is that the free-to-play one?
I don't remember.
I don't know either.
No, that's
the card game.
That's the card game.
Okay, so, Battlecry looks like it's an interesting game. They debuted it last E3 very briefly, just at the end of a little brief montage they were doing.
It was still brief this year.
Yeah, it was. And we didn't see any gameplay.
We saw, maybe a couple minutes worth of footage on it, and that was about it. Now, the only thing that they really had you go register for to go play, so... Right. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Not enough information out for me to really give a good opinion.
Now, the alpha is available already in, I believe they said Australia and New Zealand. And, of course, we did our due diligence and checked YouTube beforehand to see if there was gameplay footage. But from what we saw, I don't know. Pass.
Well, I'm going to keep an open mind. You know, when they send me my beta code, please send me my beta code so I can check it out.
We'll see. We'll see if you get in. The next one that they talked about was kind of a leak. They kind of teased it during their mic check the other night, was Dishonored 2, which I am a huge Dishonored fan. I was one of those guys who, when Dishonored came out, I thought it was bad. I was picking on the muddy textures. I was picking on the poor gameplay. And then I played it, and I loved it, and I beat it twice. So much so that they announced a definitive edition coming out later this year for current-gen consoles, PS4, Xbox One, probably PC. I don't know if they need to do it again for PC. With all the DLC, and I already want it. I already know I want it. I'd play it again. I don't care. I loved it.
Now, we haven't pre-ordered it yet, so we'll see. We'll see how much he wants it towards the end of the year. But I was really excited when this came on, and they showed the protagonist running across the rooftops. I could tell immediately that it was a female.
Yes. So
anytime there's a female protagonist going, I'm excited, because that tells me that they're looking at the entire audience of gamers, not just the male subset.
During the post-game wrap-up with Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb made a point that said we need more female protagonists. And I was like, yeah, it was good. I like that. I like seeing that.
So Morgan Webb and I agree on that. No doubt. I thought it was really cool that they are expanding on the original Dishonored and utilizing a character from that to play.
Correct.
You can play both male and female for those of you who aren't on the female protagonist train.
So you're going to get to play. It looks like it takes place about 15 years after the original Dishonored, from what I can tell. The main protagonist, Corvo Tano, makes his return. He was the guy you played with in the first one. And the daughter that you were rescuing from the first one, Emily Caldwell, she is now the female protagonist of the game. They did say they didn't get into too many specifics. It will be for next generation. They did not announce a release date. They did not announce anything like that. They did say that both Corvo and Emily would have completely different skill sets. I'm not entirely sure if it's story-driven, where their stories interweave, where you have to play with each, or you can solely play with one or the other. It may be more in terms of the new Assassin's Creed coming out later in the year, where you have a guy and a girl, but each has their own missions. We don't know yet.
Yep, it really wasn't very clear. More than anything, I would say this was to drive the hype train for Dishonored 2. And I'm on board.
I'm on board. I'm ready. So definitive edition does drop later this year, though.
Yep.
They didn't announce a price. Probably $30, would be my guess.
We'll see.
Well, it was free for PlayStation Plus a while ago. I think Xbox may have had it a while ago. So most people have now sink their teeth into it. But getting it on high def and better pretty graphics. I'm sold.
And getting all the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC. Yeah. There's 3 packs. I got the first one. I never got the other 2, and I should have.
But now you have another chance.
Now you have a chance. Next, they talked about the card game, Elder Scrolls Legends, which is basically Hearthstone.
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
As soon as he started talking about the love of the Elder Scrolls franchise and strategy card games, the only thing that popped in my mind was Hearthstone.
I agree.
Bethesda, you're a little late to the game. Hearthstone has been out for a good long while, and it is through the Warcraft franchise, which, quite honestly, is tough to beat. You know, everybody knows the Warcraft characters. We all know them. We grew up with them. The Elder Scrolls characters aren't as memorable. That's
what we were talking about. I think Elder Scrolls has a very deep lore, but not specific people.
Yes.
I don't know if I could even name Patrick Stewart's character in Oblivion. Tyrius Septim or something. Okay, so I know it. Okay. But edit that out. No, my point is that the reality is, for the most part, you know, like the Nords, you know the Khajiit, you know you know
the major classes, but how many characters can you name from Warcraft?
Thousands. Clearly, we have a lot of Diablo and Warcraft stuff all around our room.
You can't see the rest of the room, but there's another 5 posters over there. There's a couple more over there. There's even more over there.
Okay, so we're extreme fans of Blizzard, so that makes sense. But the reality is, there are a lot of Elder Scroll NPCs. They're not memorable because there are so many.
Yes.
Warcraft and the Blizzard universe has a few core heroes that play through. If you've played StarCraft, it's always Jim Raynor. It's not like Jim Raynor for this one for this one. And the main character of Skyrim, and not even Skyrim, the main character of Elder Scrolls games is you, the nameless, faceless protagonist.
Well, but you don't stay in that same universe every time you go and play, whereas in Warcraft you do. In Blizzard games, you stay within that same realm, you stay within that same universe. Yes, maybe there are some new characters that pop in.
Well, you do,
but you keep those major characters, so you're invested in them.
So Elder Scrolls does all take place in one universe, and all the expansions do take place in different parts of the map, but they're in different times.
Right. So you're not carrying through that same line of characters.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. I can't think of very many. I would have a hard time naming more than 5 named characters. But if this card game does just focus on key elements, different types of dragons, the different enemies you encounter in the dungeons, the Dwemer, whatever you call them, the Brenton, that kind of thing. I think this could be cool. We don't know. We haven't seen the gameplay. We're all assuming that it's Hearthstone with a facelift, and it might not be. It might be totally different.
That is true.
We don't know.
They didn't show us anything about it. Did say it would be free to play, though, right?
Free to play, but not for Android.
I thought it was available Android.
PC and iPad.
Yeah,
that's something else I'm going to talk about in a minute.
All right, Bethesda.
Hello.
Bethesda,
Where's
hello.
Where's my phone? It's Android. Hello. There's like Bethesda. More of us than you.
Bethesda, we
Dog's pissed off.
Even the dog doesn't like Apple products.
Nah, I'm not going to hate Apple. I'm going to say that if you're going to make it, you need to make it for all of them. That's just the way it is.
Okay, you're a group of gamers. We like the freedom to explore. We like to be able to check things out. We like to have the newest gadgets. Apple just doesn't jive as well with that. Don't disagree. It should be on Apple, but it should also be available for Android.
I agree. Should be on both. Which brings us to the finale, Fallout 4.
Fallout 4. So let's talk Fallout 3 for a minute. I played Fallout 3 for about 30 minutes.
You made it that far?
I did.
Where did you play it at? Did you play on my computer?
Yes, I played on your computer.
From the beginning?
From the beginning.
So you had to pick if you were a baby and crawl around and your dad?
It took a little long for it to get going, and quite honestly, I kind of lost focus. I like my games to be a little less realistic and post-apocalyptic. Just not really my cup of tea. Fallout 4, though, does look amazing. One of the big things that I liked about it was that they start you before the bomb goes off. I like seeing the story before the post-apocalyptic world hits. I think that's a great change. I think it's good. Let's talk a little bit about the character development. Because that was a huge part of Fallout 3. It was probably about 90% of the 30 minutes I played.
So, typical character development is a bunch of sliders where you pick the shape of your nose, the face of your, the shape of your face and everything. This had some new character creator where you just clicked on the part of the body you wanted and just started dragging and zooming in and out, and it looked much more intuitive.
Yes. And you could go from almost anywhere within a male. You could be male or female. However, they start with the male first, so... Again,
well, they're both standing in front of the mirror, and you click on who you want to stand in the front. You pick then who your main character is going to be. So if you click the female, the dude probably falls off. Although, they were very, very quiet about the story, and I appreciate that. They did mention that you have a kid that may or may not may have something to do with the game later on. However, whatever character you pick, that will be your character. So yes. In the demo, they showed the guy, but if you wanted to have a female, that's just fine too. It doesn't matter. I will agree with you that I did like that you could play before the bomb dropped, because it's such a rich world that you're exploring after it's been destroyed. Mm-hmm. To see a little of it, and I don't know how much, to see a little of it beforehand, it's almost like they're making the game twice.
Yeah. You're
developing a game, then you're developing it again.
Well, it also kind of gives you a feel of what the world was like before. Right. So when you do come out, yes. In the post-apocalyptic yes. world, you can appreciate the differences and how much has really changed. So I think that's an important part of the story development.
And I think this is a deep dive for the true Final Fantasy fans. But Final Fantasy III in the U.S., when Kefka aligned the towers and the world was destroyed, and you woke up with Celis, and you re-explored the world of ruin after you saw the world of light. Villages you saw were gone. Things that you saw had changed. Blizzard did it again during...
pick a Warcraft expansion.
What was the expansion? No, Cataclysm.
Cataclysm did it.
Cataclysm changed the world. Barrens was not the Barrens anymore. North Barrens, Southern Barrens, Thousand Needles flooded. I like that. So I think this is a good touch. I think this is going to make people appreciate exploring the world even more, because they're going to walk through and like, oh my god, I remember that. This was not the way it was before. So I think that's awesome. So hats off to those guys.
Now, the Pipboy is back.
The Pipboy is returned.
In a collector's edition, which we have already pre-ordered. Undecided as to which console we want, whether we're going for PC or PlayStation 4. They're up on Best Buy and Amazon that I know of. Gamers Club Unlocked, of course, on Best Buy, so that's obviously our first choice.
Right, they're going for $120.
But it's a Pip-Boy, and you can actually put your cell phone in. There's
an
app.
There's a companion app that you don't need the Pip-Boy for.
Correct.
You can actually interface to the game, the second screen experience. Microsoft tried this with Smart Glass. It didn't really take off. I've seen it on other consoles. The Wii U does it. I'm not really that excited about it in terms of how it works. I just want the toy. I want to wear the Pip-Boy. I want to play with the Pip-Boy.
So I think it could be cool. It could allow you to take Fallout 4 to work with you because you can play with the Pip-Boy on your cell phone without...
I guess.
You know, if you really want to fully immerse yourself in the Fallout 4 world.
Get your Vault 111 jacket and bust to work in the wasteland, the capital... Well, not the capital wasteland. It takes place in Boston.
Yes.
So, yes, so that looks cool. I do like the Pip-Boy. I like the collectible. I like all that stuff. I got a trophy room. It'll gladly sit on the shelf.
So we'll be doing an unboxing video November 10th, 2015. That is the release date for Fallout 4. I believe it's the 10th.
It's the 10th. We will.
So, look... You can look forward to that.
A couple other things I wanted to touch about before we wrap up. I know you're excited. There's a lot of deep dive here.
Well, don't forget there's still something else that we haven't spoken about.
I'm still talking about Fallout 4 totally.
Well, this is Fallout 4 related.
Okay, go ahead. You go first.
What about the new app, Fallout Shelter?
Yes, this isn't related to Fallout 4, but we could take a good diversion. Because if we're following along with Bethesda, they started with Fallout 4, went to Shelter, and then... Okay, so go ahead. So talk about Fallout Shelter briefly, and then I got to go back to Fallout 4.
Well, so, again, Apple-based only. Really? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me?
What is Fallout Shelter?
It was a tablet-based game. Give some more details. Quite honestly, I lost interest as soon as I realized that it wasn't available to me as an Android user.
Fallout Shelter is going to be a world-building game, very similar to XCOM, where you select and build up a base. The two things that are cool about this game is buildings appear instantly, so there's no times and there's no paying. It's completely free. There's no like Dungeon Keeper where you had to pay to unmine things faster, or Clash of Clans where you have to buy gems to speed up your development. This is all instant, all real time. You basically are the owner, the curator of the vault, and you select rooms to build up people, build up charisma, build up food, build up armaments, and you send your survivors off to do missions, and they return. And you just slowly build up your vault into a thriving community. So if you have an Apple mobile device,
you can play this. If not...
Right now you can play it. Right now it's on the store this second.
If not, go ahead and fast forward through this part of the video because it really doesn't apply to you, which is kind of how I felt while I was listening to it. So
yeah, that kind of sucks.
Hence you can understand why I don't really know a lot about it because as soon as they said, it's available, I'm like, oh, sweet, let me go get it. And then I typed it into the Play Store and, not there. But they do have a Fallout Shelter app. However, it is quite literally about building a shelter for a Fallout. Not quite
There's
what I was looking for.
There's going to be a lot of knockoffs. But I think this is a great idea. I'm really excited for this game. I hope it comes to Android. I mean, very similar to...
Are you excited enough about it to get an Apple device?
No.
Okay.
Well, I just signed a contract, though, for 2 years with Sprint.
You could still get an iPad.
Oh, an iPad? No, because I'm not a huge mobile gamer anyway. I'm more of a console or PC guy. I'm not. Mobile gaming isn't my cup of tea.
You heard it straight from his mouth. It wasn't good enough to go buy an Apple device.
They're not expecting it to be. It's a free. It's not. Don't let your hate for Apple mar this great product. I want to go back to Fallout 4. Anyway, Fallout Shelter's out now. It looks amazing. If you like that kind of stuff, I think it's an amazing game. Tell me how it is.
And you have an Apple device.
Yeah.
Now maybe they'll bring it to Android.
They will.
You know,
Apple.
We've already sent the emails. We sent the questions in from Twitter last night. You know, didn't answer us, but maybe one day they'll think about the rest of their fan base.
So, we'll go back to Fallout 4 since you detoured on your Apple hate train. Choo-choo. One of the cool things about Bethesda, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, Bethesda has an amazing ability to take every little inordinate object in the world and make it kind of clickable or collectible. So you think of a Skyrim game, you think of Wolfenstein we're playing through right now. If you want ammo, you have to look on the shelf, move your crosshair to where it is, and pick up individual pieces of gear.
Each individual item.
So typically that becomes an exercise in just scanning for gold or for, like, in Skyrim, for example, looking at, like, you don't want a regular sword, you want the enchanted glowy sword. So you start to put your filter on very early on. And I think that they were aware of this because they mentioned last night that one of the cool things with Fallout 4 is that they're going to have their own crafting system. Like a full-blown crafting system. Not just in terms of, like, crafting guns and armor, which looks amazing, by the way. But they said there was, like, over 500, I think I wrote it down somewhere. Over 50 base weapons with over 700 mods. Just to begin. That's just weapons. Then you have armor. You can build your own power suit, customize it however you want. But then they mentioned you could build your own damn city.
Yes, so those of you who are like me and you like to be basically a klepto inside the game, you have to pick up everything, your world will be very bare because you will have tried to collect every single item that's there. And you'll be going like this. Mine, 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 mine. And when you do, then you'll be able to create your own world and city. However, you'll be like me and you'll be like, should I use it now? Or would it be better later with something else that I collect? So my entire Fallout 4 world would have everything collected and I'd be carrying it around on my body.
Nothing built.
And nothing built. Because there could be something better later.
So, one of the... I'm not that extreme. However, the reason why I mentioned about the specific items was they showed that it's going to be this, like, contextual fetching. So, for example, you may need glass in order to build something. You may need... And it'll show you... In the builder, it'll say you need, like, something that's wood-based, something that's glass-based, and something that's...
Rubber-based.
Rubber, whatever. I'm making it up. The glass items aren't necessarily just all one thing.
Yep.
Like a cell phone, the front of that could be glass. So if you collected a cell phone, that now has purpose. A globe could be used or something like that. Yep. So the point is, one item can be used for different things. It's not like, in order to craft this, you need one globe and one pencil.
Hence, going back to my problem.
Right.
So what if later on I need to craft something else and now I don't have the material because I used it for, this initial first part of the game thing.
I'm sure the world is expansive enough. They did mention that you can actually have people come live in your community. You can have vendors. You can have...
farmers. Yep, I remember them talking...
So I'm sure you could begin to farm your own mats if you need to. I have no doubt about that.
Again, that's just my concern. It's always my concern in games where you're able to craft... Hey, am I using this, something that's a very rare item that I don't realize is rare, because usually they give you a couple of those really rare items up front, and then you use it to craft, I don't know, let's say you use it to craft a cement block. Later on in the game, you could use it to build an entire village, but you've already crafted your cement block.
Yeah, I would think that the more exotic mats, I'm sure that they're going to be... it's going to be clear that you're not wasting, like, epic level materials on junk. I'm sure they're going to do that. I mean, most games... And they're going to be hard to find, too.
Clearly, I've been burned by this before.
I know. A lot of hate.
So that leads to me saving them all and not using them, and then not getting to experience the coolness of the new features.
So you can scrap materials, you have a city building, city trading, you'll be able to supply food, water, power. You can build generators and run wires between different structures to give turrets power or structures power. You can build terminals. They're going to put some logic in the game where you can have your terminals remotely connect. So I think you're going to see a lot of like Rube Goldberg-esque development going on in the game.
Almost getting into one of the Sims type games within Fallout 4. So
it's almost like a mini creator within the game.
Now, obviously, Bethesda does a great job with most of what they do. Fallout 3, from what I've heard, especially from my husband, amazing game. I hope that they don't take it too far and miss the Fallout 4 mission with this new crafting tool.
Now, they did say that there'll be multiple sites, but it is completely optional. So if you don't like it, don't do it. Don't pick up the tire. Just shoot stuff in the face.
Oh, but see, again, you go back to I'm a klepto in the game.
You need to play.
I gotta have it all.
You know what you should do? We need to do a Let's Play of you playing Fallout 3. So you can see what I'm talking about. It's not like you're going to be over encumbered. You're not like 10,000 tires on your arms walking like this, like trying to like figure it out, and it's going to be too much.
I just had a tough time getting through the beginning part of Fallout. It just, you know.
And did you see at the end they had flying vehicles like helicopters and helicarriers with turrets on the side? I'm excited. This game.
Okay, so let's talk.
I was already hyped for this game. This press conference did hit the mark on that.
So again, we talked, it's coming out November 10th, 2015. We already have our pre-orders in. Do you?
Do you?
So, let's talk about the end of the press conference. When they put up these characters. The little plastic collectible figurines.
Oh.
And told everyone who was there to make sure they get them on the way out. To commemorate Bethesda's first press conference in E3.
Right. That was cool.
Really? What about the rest of us?
You can't expect them to give trinkets for every single person in the planet.
I didn't say give them out, but at least put them up on your website for sale, something. Give the rest of us a chance to commemorate your first press conference as well. Now, don't worry. Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb were able to get a couple extra, and by a couple I mean one.
I think they actually asked three questions.
So if you
submitted, 3 questions.
So if you submitted a question and they asked it on the air last night,
3 questions.
You were able to get this for yourself,
so
even though you weren't there. So 3 lucky individuals.
Yes.
Have them coming in the mail to them.
Yes.
However,
lucky. The rest of us, no. Okay, so I know you're a little jaded by this. E3 is all about loot, and it's all about what the haves and have-nots have. So you're going to see this happening throughout E3, through where people are going to get stuff for being there. We could have gone. It's like $1,000 a ticket. We could have gone.
But you're still not invited to the press conferences, so you still wouldn't have gotten it.
We could have gotten it. So
what are you going to do? Run up there like a ninja? And just grab them?
Ninja. That's why I'm wearing a Ninja Pirate shirt. I would do my Ninja Pirate act. All right, closing up. We're wrapping up. We're just closing up shop on Bethesda. Overall takeaway, I think the character creator on Doom is amazing. I think all the creation that they're going to allow on Fallout 4 is absolutely amazing. And I want to see more Dishonored. What are your big takeaways from Bethesda?
I am super excited about Doom. It takes me back to my childhood. Really, really want to play that. Battlecry, I don't really have an opinion either way. Haven't really seen enough to go one way or the other. Elder Scrolls card game, I'm hesitant. Again, no video, no real discussion about it other than it exists.
They're allowed to be a teaser, though. That's the thing. They can't deep dive everything. There's stuff in development. It's not like it's better than.
Honey, calm down.
It's better.
I'm not saying that it's a horrible idea. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying I don't have enough information to make an informed decision about how I think it will be.
That's a fair statement.
So let's talk Elder Scrolls Online quickly. I haven't had a chance to discuss it. They discussed that it just came out for the console.
I skipped that entirely. I don't care. No one cares.
So let me just give you a quick update on that. It is an MMO. So I've done my MMO days. I don't want to go back. I don't need to go back. My family doesn't need me to go back. It is a time sink times 1,000. And quite honestly, nobody has done it as well as Blizzard has in World of Warcraft. So fortunately, that is what I started with, and that's what I sink most of my time into. But I just can't commit to a game like that again. You know, those were back in my younger days when I was in college, when I had a lot of free time. Now,
but you know
not
what?
as much.
But you know what? It's not well received. It's not a good MMO. It's just I played through the alpha, I played through the beta. They constantly ask me to come back. I have no interest in coming back. It's not a good MMO. It's not. It's just not.
So that being said,
who cares? They talked about it.
That being said,
who cares?
I'm ready for a new single-player Elder Scrolls game.
Yes.
But I am not interested in the MMO.
That'll be a while. I don't think you'll see another Elder Scrolls till 17. You may get a tease of it next year, But with Fallout's going to have a lot of legs. Doom's going to be coming out next year. Yep. I think they're locked up for...
You got Dishonored 2 as well, so I would agree with that. However, that doesn't mean that I'm not ready for a new one. Skyrim is back on the PlayStation 3. I now have a PlayStation 4, so I need an Elder Scrolls game that's not an MMO. Please, Bethesda.
Please.
Help us out.
All right. I think we've said it all and then some. Very good. We learned that you hate Apple, and we've learned that you're mad when you want loot, you hate Apple, and you... What else do we say? Oh, you want swag.
So let's talk about where my hatred for Apple comes from. Just briefly, real quick.
Okay.
Back when I was in college, I had to take a video editing class. They forced us to do our work on an Apple. It did not allow you to do a right click. At that point, Apple was gone. I was out. Do you know how many times I picked that Apple laptop up to throw it out the window because it did not have the same functionality that my Windows laptop did?
Right.
That is where Apple and I parted ways. Because as a child, I had an Apple IIgs, and I loved it. It was the greatest computer ever. Had all my games on it. I could play Number Crunchers. I could play, Double Dare. All of the awesome games that came out were on the Apple IIgs. And then college happened. And we had a separation. I have yet to come back from that separation. But I am open-minded. If Apple comes out with something that is amazing and awesome, I would be open to it. But at this point, no.
But if you want Bethesda games, you got to get an Apple.
And Bethesda.net.
And on that note, we want to thank you guys for watching. Please do us a favor. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about Bethesda. Let her know what you think about Apple. And until next time, which will be Microsoft's video in about 2 or 3 hours, we will see you guys on the other side.